Welcome to Keep Trekking. Welcome back if there's been a four. Today we've got a very special video for you. It's not a trek, but it's a few local ghost stories from Stocksbridge. Keep Trekking. It's not just a channel, it's an adventure. Just a couple of Yorkshire lads from the God's own county who likes to get out into great outdoors. Trekking the paths and fells this ancient land has to offer us, from the beautiful trails of the Yorkshire Wolds Way, to the great northern path of Adrian's Wall, to the great walks in Derbyshire of the Bonnie Prince Charlie Walk, to the Scottish Highlands of the Rob Roy Way and the great Pennine Way. So get your boots on and come with us. Let's go. This morning we're at Underbank Reservoir at the top end of Stocksbridge. Back in the summer of 1987, about June, July time, a fella decided to go fishing one morning about 6 o'clock, right about over there where them tree lines are, that tree line is. He said he nodded for a few seconds and then he woke up and he said the sky was a beautiful shade of pink. He noticed to his right hand side that an apparition of a building had appeared. Damstakes Farm, which used to stand in the bottom of this reservoir before it was built. He looked across, he said he could actually see the style of curtains and what was inside the building. He noticed then after a few minutes a man walking behind him, never said anything to him, but he was wearing a blue and white shirt, like a really old style shirt, and grey trousers and boots up to his knees. The man passed at the back of him, then all of a sudden started walking towards the farmhouse across the water. He then blinked for a few minutes, not a few minutes, a few seconds, and the farmhouse had disappeared and the sky was back to a beautiful blue summer's day. It's one of those unexplained things. Nobody's ever seen it since, that I know of, but that happened back in 1987. It is truly a magical place up here at Underbank, and on a day like this, who knows what you may see. This is Unsliven Bridge, just down from Underbank Reservoir where before. The haunted stagecoach. This is part of the old Wadsley and Langsett Turnpike Road that was built in 1805 to 1806. Reputably, the stagecoach was coming round this corner. There is other stories that saying it was at the original Stocksbridge in Stocksbridge itself. But I'd like to believe it was here because of the bend of the road and how the road was designed. It was coming around this corner too fast and it turned over and killed a load of children that was actually in the stagecoach. Now, some dark mysterious nights apparently you used to be able to hear, and passers by used to be able to hear the galloping of fast hooves and witnessing the children still inside the stagecoach and driven by the undead. It's not been seen for years or heard for years, but I'd like to still think that this road is still haunted by a mysterious stagecoach. This is the Clough Woods in Stocksbridge. Two young teenagers back in 1988, Sunday morning, walked from Deepker back up to the other teenagers' home who lived at Garden Village at that time. They decided to walk through these woods. Everything started to feel a bit strange after that. They couldn't find their way out of these woods. But then all of a sudden they started to hear children laughing and playing. So they just went to discover where these children were, to find out if they could find their way out. When they found the children, They asked them, "Excuse me, do you know how to get out of these woods?" The children just stopped and started looking at them, blank-faced, no emotion. They asked them. The youngest girl at the front pointed a direction. So the two teenagers thanked the children and went on their way. They found the path, they managed to find their way out. But an hour or so after, one of the teenagers asked the other one, "Didn't you find something was strange about that?" So the other one says, "Well, everything's been strange." So she says, "Yeah, but did you notice what they were dressed like?" So the other teenager turns around and said, "Yeah, a bit strange, Sunday best." No, it weren't Sunday best, it was like Victorian clothing. So they pondered on it for a while and thought, yeah, that were strange. Now I know this story to be a fact and true, because one of those teenagers was me. In my 50s, the story still haunts me now. I still can't explain it. It's one of those weird things that happens in your life that you just can't explain. But I'll tell you one thing, I've never actually been back in these woods since that day. Approximately 10 o'clock one late evening, a woman was driving up this road and she came to this junction at the back of the cameraman Phil. Came up to that junction there. Thought was a car coming around the corner, but all of a sudden she realised it wasn't car headlights. It was an apparition of a woman. She could clearly see the woman's face standing right in this spot. She stared for about 30 seconds, and as if switching the light off, the woman disappeared. There's a story up at Bolsterstone churchyard which may be linked to this apparition and this white lady. Another story about the white lady. This was a church that stood here before this church. This was built in the 19th century, this actual church. But apparently somewhere in this graveyard there's one gravestone that just says WL on it, nothing else. But we've had a look around, we can't find it. So if anybody knows where that could possibly be, just let us know. But the story goes that on her wedding day she found out that her husband that she just married had been cheating on her. So she ended his life and then also ended hers. So from that day onwards she's reputedly to be haunting this graveyard, Bolsterstone itself and the lanes that surround it. I've never witnessed anything while I've been in Bolsterstone. Of the many years I've been here, I've been drinking in the Castle pub, but it used to be my local, and I've never witnessed anything. Even walking through this graveyard at night, I've never felt a thing. They do say that the least places that are haunted are graveyards, because the souls have actually left the bodies and moved on. But fabrics of the buildings, such as churches and castles, I believe play a recording of tragic events. So maybe when the atmosphere is right, or the anniversaries or anything like that of the tragic circumstances, it replays. It's not just my theory, it's a national theory, it's a worldwide theory of the stone recording theory. But maybe the white lady haunts the place on the anniversary. Who knows? This one is probably the most well-known ghost stories of this little video of ours today. We're just above Stocksbridge bypass on P. Bridge. September 1987, 2 security guards was patrolling the bypass as it was being built, and they saw where this pylon is. Under the pylon was a group of young children singing Ring a Ring a Roses. Now the children, was they the children of the tragic coach crash? Was they plague victims by singing the song Ring a Ring a Roses? Or was they from somewhere else? Another tragic event that happened around here? Who knows? But later that evening, the 2 security guards heard of a sighting on the bridge, so they came to investigate. As they got to the bridge, they thought they saw something flapping on the bridge, so one of the guards got out of the car and came up onto the bridge. We found it was some tarpaulin flapping. So he went back to the vehicle. Both of them was in the vehicle. The car wouldn't start. Things started to feel strange. They shone their headlights up onto the bridge from below. Next thing, they saw a figure of what they thought looked like a monk standing looking down at them. The headlight shone straight through the monk, the apparition. They shot off down to the local police station. The 2 security guards came here to Deepka police station. The officer on the day says, "I think you need to see a priest rather than police." So after here, they went to the local church in Stocksbridge. So the 2 security guards left the police station and dashed to this church at the back of me, St Matthias, here in the centre of Stocksbridge. There was banging on the door. There was let in and wanted immunity, wanted sanctuary. Once they was inside, they refused to leave. This is no longer a serving church. It's now deconsecrated. Shortly after, 2 police officers were sent back up to the bridge to investigate. And right back on P. Bridge, this is the Stocksbridge bypass, we're just above. It's one of the most notorious roads, and they say it's one of the most haunted roads in the UK. The stories that's attached to this road over the years, I couldn't understand why. It was opened on Friday the 13th of all times. The 2 police officers, a PC Doug Ellis and a John Beak, came here after they reported from the 2 security guards. They came here, they parked up, nothing was happening. But then they thought they saw a figure on the bridge, just like the guards did. So one of them got out to investigate, didn't see anything. He got back in his car. Next minute there was a banging at the side of the car. I think it was Doug Ellis that looked to his left and saw a figure at the side of him, at the side of his window, dressed in he said it was a monk's habit. So obviously they were scared. They turned away, looked back, it had gone. The other, John Beak, got out of the car and even looked under the car to see if there was anybody about, see if it was a prank. Nothing. So he was a bit agitated and scared at this point. They tried to start the car again, but nothing was working, nothing, it wasn't starting. Next minute there was a bang on the back of the car. So obviously they were very, very scared. All of a sudden the car started and they shot off. I do believe that the 2 police officers didn't serve much longer after that, and they certainly never came back to this bridge, this road. There's been a lot of sightings of people saying that they went on the night, they're driving along and they feel that there's somebody in the car with them. There's been a few accidents, been quite a few major accidents on this road. Quite a lot, especially when it had first opened. One story was a couple driving back from Tankersley down towards Deepcar on the bypass. And the woman looked across and saw a figure running across a field. She pointed it out to her, I presume, husband or a partner. He noticed it as well. It was running across. As they got closer, the figure came over the edge of the field and went straight through the front of the vehicle. Hence they nearly crashed the vehicle. The managed luckily not to. There's been quite a lot happening on here over the years, but this certainly is one unexplained road, and this bridge can tell a story or two.
So, when my wife passed, or just before, we had a conversation, and she said she was going to come back and haunt me. So I said, well, as long as you don't mess with the music, I'm not bothered. Then one day, I was listening to some music, not long after, and all of a sudden the volume went sky high, and then back down again to nothing, and then back to normal. And I sat there laughing. As I remembered what she'd said. So, you know, believe it or not, I don't know what I believe, but that's the facts.
So, here we are back in St Mary's Churchyard at Balsterstone. We're going to end this video here. I'm going to thank you all for watching. It's been something different this time. I hope you've enjoyed it. Phil's been great behind the camera as usual, being the cameraman, the photographer at our channel, on Facebook as well. Please check Phil out on Facebook on Keep Trekking. Follow us on Instagram and also on TikTok as well. This has been a very, very spooky, strange experience this one. Some of Stocksbridge's local ghost stories. It's been a very, very good one. I've really enjoyed doing this one.
Yeah.
So if you're going out this Halloween, or Samhain as I call it, keep safe, take care, and look after yourselves, and make sure you look after others. That's most important.
Yeah. And if you see something strange,
who are you going to call? See you later.
See you later.
Keep trekking.
Keep trekking. Ooh.
Trek on. Till next time. Ta-da.
Ta-da.
Even better with this weather. Just made it.
Yeah.